Egypt in one of the most extraordinary days in that nation's long history. When it was announced earlier today that President Hosni Mubarak would address the country in a live speech tonight, many of his opponents assumed they were about to hear the incredible news that they have fought, marched, and slept in the streets for. That was not the news they got. My co-anchor Terry Moran is with us from Tahrir Square in Cairo tonight.
Cynthia, Friday morning is coming up over Cairo. We just heard the call to prayer here, and Egypt is on a knife's edge. This is a country with almost a sense of foreboding, even of dread for this day, and that's because of Thursday, a day of swirling rumor here, political intrigue, and the most intense revolutionary emotions.
It was a day of ecstasy and heartbreak and fury. In Tahrir Square, which has become the beating heart of Egypt's democratic hopes, the theater of its revolution, the emotions were overwhelming. It was almost hard to watch. The day began, it seems a long time ago now, in anxiety and defiance. There were reports that the army planned to clear the square and crush the rebellion. And Vice President Omar Suleiman had issued veiled threats about using police tools to end the protests. It rained, and a rainbow stretched over the city, a kind of symbol of this movement's persistent promise. Inside the square, there was no backing down. The threats just ratcheted up the tension here. Many people seemed to be spoiling for a fight, ready to take on Mubarak's regime and the army.
No!
We are going to behead him. We're going to hang him, this man told us.
Believe me, we have 500,000 soldiers in our army that we love and respect. But if they turn on us, we'll turn on them.
Still, making our way through the protesters, their determination was dignified, their embrace of the moment full of a sense of destiny.
Are you concerned about a crackdown that the army may come in?
Unfortunately, the people who were here were really like, you have to fall to them, not me. The people who were here from the 25th, they died for us. That's why we are happy. We are free to come here. We are not afraid because they died. They died for us. That's why they give us our freedom. That's why we are not afraid anymore.
There are rumors swirling around this city about an imminent crackdown, but the people here are unyielding. They say they won't stop until Mubarak goes.
And then everything changed. For the first time, a high-ranking Egyptian army general, Hassan al-Rouhani, entered the square. And he received a rapturous greeting from protesters who sensed something historic was happening. Today, all your demands will be met, he told them. And then he was mobbed as he left the square, and in the middle of that mob, I asked him if the revolution had succeeded. Tonight, it is over, he told me. Everyone thought he meant Mubarak was being forced out, finished. The army had saved Egypt.
We're born again in Egypt.
You're born again?
Yes.
And the whole city seemed to pour into the streets and head for the square. Wael Honim, the Google executive who'd become a hero of the revolution after being detained by police and then weeping on TV for the dead, he was exhausted but overjoyed.
It's the dream come true. You know, the dream became true, and you know, whatever we have been fighting for since the 25th of January is now being realized.
He was greeted as a hero as the city began the party of a lifetime.
Cairo tonight is delirious. People get the news that the army has made its move, and they're ecstatic. This is a democratic ecstasy here. It's thrilling.
But then Mubarak addressed the nation on TV, and he said he wasn't going anywhere. I will be responsible for changing the Constitution, he said. And he added he would delegate some of his presidential powers to his hand-picked vice president, Omar Suleiman. But he didn't say when, and he didn't resign. In an instant, everything changed, again.
It's not enough what he did tonight.
Not enough. It's not enough. Not enough. Not enough.
Go out. Go out.
We all here until he go.
Leave us. We need him. Leave us. We don't need Mubarak in Egypt.
And once again, the specter of violence stalked Egypt.
The people is ready to do anything and everything than cannot be imagined from anyone. And if not tomorrow morning early, it to be announced that he is out and the country is clean from him. No one can imagine and no one can say what could happen in this country.
Friday is the Muslim Day of Prayer, and we are expecting gigantic demonstrations here, not just in Tahrir Square. The protesters are calling for a march to the presidential palace where Mubarak lives. That's 13 miles from here. And they have dubbed this day, ominously, the Day of Martyrs.